What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, bringing you yet another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle today. And today's opponent is Poli, and it looks like he's going to be running a Sun team here because I see Charizard, which is most likely a Mega Charizard Y. We've got Venusaur, we've got Ninetales, which is undoubtedly a Drought Ninetales. And then we've got Heliolisk, which is probably solar-powered as well. So and you've got Umbreon, who can run Moonlight. So I'm just thinking, definitely a Sun team here. On my side, I've got pretty much the same team that I ran last time, with the exception of Arcanine being taken out for Aegislash as a physical attacker, and then I've also got Nidoking in there as well. So this should be pretty interesting. This turns out to be actually a long and interesting battle, so this is a good one. So we've got Azel versus Smeargle here to start off with. For some strange reason, I did not predict the taunt. I really should have went for Magic Coat there. It would have made the most sense. For some reason, I just had in the back of my mind that this could be an offensive Azelf, but it's just your everyday, run-of-the-mill lead Azelf, and as such, I have to go into my Greninja here while he goes for the Stealth Rocks, so not the best prediction on my part here. Now he's going to take Azelf out, predicting that I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse with Greninja. And he's definitely right about that. I mean, that was the obvious play, so I do go for the Dark Pulse, and he goes into his Umbreon, and Umbreon is able to tank that like crazy, as expected. And this Umbreon actually turns out to be quite the pain in the ass, because, well, I guess I just don't want to spoil anything, so just watch the end of the match. Alright, so he's going to take out his Umbreon here and double switch back into his Azelf, and I was going for the U-turn anyway, so instead of doing pretty decent damage to Umbreon, I do a lot of damage to the Azelf, get him down into the red zone, and I'm able to get Greninja out of there as well. So now I can bring in Aegislash and theoretically just go for a Shadow Sneak to finish off this Azelf, but I'm thinking he's probably going to switch out here. I wasn't sure who he was going to switch out to. I know there's Heliolisk on this team that could pretty much just absorb that Shadow Sneak very nicely. He ends up going into Ninetales, but nonetheless I go for a Swords Dance thinking, you know what, Shadow Sneak is probably not the best move at this point. So I get the free Swords Dance off, essentially. And I'm thinking Will-O-Wisp is going to be next turn. So, like, let's try to kill this thing with a Shadow Sneak first. I don't think I have enough power yet, and I do not. So Ninetales lives, goes for the Will-O-Wisp there, and he gets the burn. But thankfully, this Aegislash is carrying a Lumberry, so the burn does not really affect me. And now he's going to have to take out this Ninetales or risk losing him, and that would be bad news considering most of his team revolves around the Sunlight being out. So this time he's going to go out to Heliolisk. Probably should have predicted that and gone for Sacred Sword, but I did not do that. I was very fixated on getting rid of that Ninetales, but it was a good move on his part. So now I'm going to go for King's Shield, seeing that this Heliolisk is solar-powered. So just to see what move he's going to go for, and to also make him take another turn of solar-powered damage. And I'm thinking this thing might actually be Choice Spec too, because in defense mode, or defense stance, shield stance, whatever you want to call it, I take way too much damage, especially because this is a max HP set. Just crazy amounts of damage. So with Solar Power and Choice Specs, this is a lot. I'm able to finally get rid of that Heliolisk with the Sacred Sword. And he brings in Venusaur next. He's going to go straight for the Sleep Powder. And I guess, again, that's another thing I could have seen coming, but there's not really anything I can do about it. So he was going to get that off regardless. So that's that. Looks like this Venusaur is going to be a bulky variant, seeing as how it has the black sludge, so it's going to go for a Swords Dance here. So now I know it's a bulky physical variant, probably with Chlorophyll, considering it's on a Sun team. And there's not really much I can do, except hope that Aegislash wakes up here, and in fact, he does. So I got kind of lucky there. And by kind of lucky, I mean really lucky, because I just did. I was going to lose Aegislash if I did not wake up on that turn. I guess I could have revenge killed it pretty easily, but can't always count on that kind of stuff. So yeah, alright, so Umbreon's going to come in now and going to go for the Dark Pulse, and that finishes off Aegislash. So it was a good run. So now we have this Umbreon out here who can tank pretty much anything that I throw at it. So what the hell am I going to do with this thing? I don't really know, honestly. So I'm going to bring out Smeargle, who somehow still has full HP. Unfortunately, the Stealth Rock breaks the Focus Sash, so that sucks. He's going to take Umbreon out here and bring in Ninetales. Get the sun back up on the field, because for whatever reason it faded. Well, not for whatever reason, the turns were up. I don't know, sometimes the things that I say are retarded. Okay, so I go for a Stealth Rock there, knowing that Charizard is still on this team, so Stealth Rock is going to help me immensely, even if Ninetales switches out, or even if it doesn't switch out, because, you know, Charizard is still there. So I'm able to get the Spore off, but he goes for a Flamethrower and gets the Burn with 19 HP left, so that kind of sucks because that gets rid of Smeargle. Not that there's anything else that I could really do, but oh well. Smeargle goes down to the Burn, and now I've got Nidoking to come out here. I'm imagining that this Ninetales is going to switch out here, and in fact, it does. It's also kind of curious because with Stealth Rock now up, I don't know if that Ninetales can switch back in or not. It's going to be really close, because it looks like it was right around the 25% mark, so not really sure if he's going to be able to switch in again and survive. But still a smart move to keep the Ninetales alive because of Drought. Azelf ends up going down very easily when it comes back in. Nidoking just kills it immediately. And now Umbreon is back in here, and Umbreon is a problem. I don't really have anything on my team that can take care of this Pokemon, except for maybe Aegislash with Sacred Sword, but he's dead now, so yeah, I'm kind of in trouble. And it's looking more and more like I'm going to have to rely on Skarmory to take this thing on, because almost undoubtedly this Umbreon is running Toxic. So Toxic and Dark Pulse are the only way for it to do damage, because it looks like Protect and Moonlight are its other moves. So if that's the case, we could have a PP war here with Skarmory and Umbreon at the end. And yeah, so I end up eating my Citrus Berry kind of sooner than what I expected. And I get a Roar off. Charizard is forced to come out and take a crap ton of Stealth Rock damage in the process, but now I've got to switch out because Skarmory just can't stay in against Charizard. So I'm going to bring out my Milotic, which is really the only other thing I can bring out at this point. As expected, the Charizard is going to evolve into Mega Charizard Y, and I know this Milotic is not going to last very long because while he's going to go for Flamethrower on this turn, he's undoubtedly going to go for Solar Beam on the next turn, and that's going to be a problem because Milotic cannot live one of those, especially with any prior damage. So, despite being a especially defensive set, this just is not going to be able to take a Solar Beam at just about half health. Not going to happen. And, of course, I can't outspeed either. I have no speed investment on this thing, so yikes. There goes Milotic. I basically sacrificed him in order to get the Stealth Rock damage and not have Skarmory die, because, honestly, I need Skarmory. That's really the only thing I have that can beat Umbreon at this point, so yeah, we're going to have to keep Skarmory alive at all costs. So now I got to bring in Greninja, who I know should be faster than this Charizard. So now he's got to switch out, go back into his Ninetales, and now we get to see if Stealth Rock is going to kill this Ninetales, and no, barely. It doesn't knock out the Ninetales. He gets the Drought as well, so the sun is back out, and I'm going to go for a Scald here. We'll finish off the Ninetales finally. This thing stuck around a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but Ninetales finally goes down. So now we've got Charizard and Umbreon left. And again, Greninja can't really do anything to Umbreon except U-turn, so that's what we're going to have to do. I know that Umbreon can do almost nothing to Skarmory, so I'm going to have to U-turn back into Skarmory yet again. And this is just looking more and more like it's going to be a war of PP. And in fact, it does come down to that eventually, but we're not quite there yet. I still have to get rid of that Charizard for this to be a true PP war, so Gonna get a little bit of leftovers recovery there. And now I'm gonna roost. Get my HP back up. Because I was getting close to the halfway point. And you can pretty much use roost liberally on these Skarmory sets. And in fact, what saved me a lot in this matchup is that this Skarmory actually has some special defensive investment. So that saved me, basically. Because it allowed me to tank at least one extra Dark Pulse hit, so yeah, that worked out nicely for me. I get the Roar off there, brings Charizard back in to take more Stealth Rock damage, and this time Charizard's not going to survive, so Stealth Rock basically just destroyed Charizard in this match. I did not even get one hit off on it. Stealth Rock did all the damage for me. So now he's just left with Umbreon, and I'm going to keep Greninja in my back pocket here, because should Skarmory lose this PP war, I'm going to need Greninja to come in and U-turn to finish it off. But I think what I'm probably going to do here is, because this lasts like 5 minutes, I'm going to speed this up and hopefully get it over with in like 2 or 3 minutes. So let's speed this up, and it's going to be just lots and lots of roosting and moonlighting, Dark Pulse, and Brave Bird. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until eventually one of us is going to go down. At this point, I'm pretty sure I have the match won, because at the very least, even if Skarmory for some reason, loses due to a critical hit or, whatever, I still have Greninja who can come in and U-turn, and I should have, by that point, have Umbreon out of Moonlights. So that will definitely work in my favor. At that point, Greninja will be able to take out the Umbreon, because he can't really do anything except for Toxic Stall me at that point. So he'll just have to rely on Toxic and Protect. And he does get a critical hit there, but thankfully I'm able to hang on with 20 HP, and I don't know, it kind of reminds me of what happened in the last match with Russell Brand, the Medicham. I was able to hang on with 3 HP. I mean, I guess it would have been a lot more if I had some more physical defense investment in this Skarmory, but still. Skarmory saved my butt quite a few times. This thing is just amazing. And, the more I think about it, I think I need to move Aegislash out of this team, because with the whole sticky web and, whatchamacallit, can't think of the word, entry hazard, there we go, entry hazard thing going on, I don't think that Aegislash is necessarily a good fit. I need some kind of different physical attacker. Arcanine worked nicely. I might throw him back in there. But yeah, I'm just thinking out loud here about my team. But anyway, we're getting down towards the end here. And because I know that this Umbreon is about to run out of PP for Dark Pulse. So at that point, the only other damaging move that this thing has is going to be Toxic. And obviously, if Skarmory can survive up until that point, I will have won the match, because Umbreon cannot hit Skarmory with Toxic. So, and I'm still doing okay on Brave Birds here. I think at this point I had 8 or 9 left, so I should be in good shape. This is going to come to an end here in a second, but while this is going, I'll let you watch this. We'll go over a question for this video that you guys can put in the comment section, just because I'm curious to see where everybody stands with this. But since this was mostly a stall fest, what is your guys' favorite stall Pokemon? Not necessarily a stall set, but I don't know, like some of you might like Skarmory the best, some of you might like Blissey, some of you might like Umbreon. I don't know, I'm just curious. So put that in the comment section. Definitely want to know what your guys' favorite is, so yeah. And finally there, Umbreon goes down to a Brave Bird after, like, what was that? Probably combined, if I didn't speed that up, it's probably almost 7 or 8 minutes long of just Skarmory versus Umbreon. Classic stall fest. Thankfully, I was able to come out on top there, but overall it was a great match. Definitely fun. We have to do it again sometime, Polly. Yeah, so that's that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and next time we have a sun versus rain match, so stay tuned for that. See you next time, guys. Game on.